I would like to talk about character spotlighting and what that is and why it drives me nuts and why it destroys every story I've ever seen it in, whether it's a guy or whether it's a girl that is being spotlit. I hate character spotlighting. That is not good storytelling. Why? Why is it so common for the woman to become more powerful? Because the guy becomes helpless. So far, I've literally never seen it happen the other way around. Not once. That was one of my things with Love You 7 Times, Avenue X's expression when she said the girl is a nobody and the guy is strong. And I'm like, why does she have that look on her face? What is going on here? What is the reasoning behind this? She's the one that says she's an expert, like watching all of these different dramas and all that stuff, so she should know full well that that is never how it ends. Even in Love You 7 Times, she ended up more powerful than him. That is what's normal. Okay, yes, so the girl starts out as like a nobody, but that's only because she's reincarnated into this little, she has to start all over again while the guy is still up here somewhere or something. Think about it. Think about it. How often does that happen? It happens all the time. Where the girl starts as nobody, but she shoots way past the guy. Way past him. And there's always some kind of excuse. Some kind of whatever. So it makes it look like that's not what's happening, but that is what's happening. It's not about equality. It's about making the girl way better than the guy. And they always do it by trampling the guy down somehow. Whether it's the actual girl in the actual drama that tramples all over him or not, that's what ends up happening. In Moonlight Mystique, by the way, she ended up putting her fingers all over his business. She took over everything about what he does. And you could claim all kinds of reasons why for it. None of them are valid. She just literally took over. Totally took over. And I absolutely hated it. Okay, I have to start by reading some notes, I think. Maybe that will help. On July 19th, at like 11:35 in the morning, about Coroner's Diary, I wrote, I think I'm going to put this on hold instead of watching it. It's back to not progressing the story, just side railing on another mostly irrelevant case. And I am getting insanely tired of 2 episodes stumbling through no story progression. Especially now that Yanqi has confessed to Wen, and they've been comedically prevented from kissing 3 times, and comedically interrupted in the middle of it once. I am so sick of the delayed and never satisfied payoff in these stupid dramas. This is a problem I've been seeing in literally everything. This is the biggest problem I had with Coroner's Diary. I had other problems too. This is the biggest one I had with it. So many of these stupid dramas, the romance takes over. There is no story for like episodes upon episodes because we're so focused on the cutesiness of this relationship that is like they've confessed, so now all of a sudden we have to have this whatever. Or another problem I've figured out is that we think that there's an actual story happening and that we're actually enjoying an actual story, and then we actually realize there was no story. This was just all a like introduction pretext thing, setting up this relationship, and they took like 10 episodes to do it. Now we're finally kind of starting the story, and at the point that we finally actually start the story, we have to completely interrupt the relationship and throw some kind of massive wrench in there. Coroner's Diary, this is the exact opposite problem. And like the further you go in the drama, the more you realize that this is what is happening. They are doing like the opposite of a romance takeover. They won't let the romance happen. They're just constantly throughout the entire thing. The minute he confesses, all attraction is gone. I mean, their relationship was one of the most beautiful things about this drama. Her respect and love and trust and everything of him, and the opposite of his love and support and everything of her. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. But at the same time, it's like, are you guys actually in love? Because I'm starting to completely disbelieve it. Because the minute he actually finally confessed to her, all of a sudden, it's like, this is another message that I get in a lot of dramas. I'm starting to see it more and more, where it's like, the characters are so pure and so noble and so, what is the word I'm looking for? There was a word and now I lost it again. That they are literally able to 100% resist all temptation, no matter how madly in love with someone they actually are. This is the problem that the Princess Royal had. I do not believe you. I legit do not believe you, even for the minutest second, that once these two have confessed that they actually love each other, to each other, they both know it. They are to the point where they are completely in love with each other. And yet, somehow, throughout the entire drama, even after they've already made this confession of knowing it, they are able to sleep on the same bed as each other, right beside each other, cuddled right up against each other, and yet they are able to resist even kissing each other. They just somehow, while being madly in love with each other, have absolutely no desire for physical intimacy. I do not believe it for the slightest second. And this is what happens in the Coroner's Diary. Somehow, the duty of their job and all of the rest of this completely cuts off all desire at the drop of a hat. Doesn't matter what they're in the middle of, almost whatever. And a forehead kiss is like making up for being interrupted by kissing on the mouth. Because we all know the forehead kiss is like definitely as strong as lip to lip. There's so many stupid things about it. So many stupid things about it. I don't know how to put it into words. It's just so stupid. And, it made me so mad, so sick and tired. I am so sick and tired of there being no payoff. After we wait and wait and wait, and they come so close so many times. And do you know how many times he tried to kiss her, and it was completely interrupted and wasn't allowed, and everybody like whatever, but every time she went to kiss him, it always happened. She's allowed to kiss him, but he's not allowed to kiss her. This is what the drama itself is telling me. Not the characters, the drama itself is telling me. She's allowed to initiate it, and she's allowed to get away with it, and it's all cute and funny and whatever, but no, he's not. He's frustrated every time he's interrupted when he tries to do it with her. If he tries to instigate it. What kind of messaging are we getting from these dramas, people? Can you see? No, you're probably all completely blind and don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Some other notes that I wanted to read. Something that I absolutely hated in this one is something that they do a lot. In episode 23 of Coroner's Diary, I wrote, an example of the biggest stuff I hate. I don't want to distract him. Literally one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. If he truly loves you, what you are doing right now is distracting him more. No, we can't get married because I don't want him to get distracted from what he's doing. No, we all know that we like each other, but we can't even officially make anything official because that would be dangerous if I distracted him. Girl, you already are distracting him. If he actually loves you as much as he's saying he is, you already are distracting him. And in fact, you're making it worse because you're dangling yourself right in front of him. But, never mind. I forgot that we're all so virtuous and so, I still can't remember what that word is. We're all so in control and so up there that we can just resist all desire. And, it's only there for the briefest of a second, and then, no, we're good. No. Anyway. I'm explodingly sick and tired of the romance dramas that pull these stunts. List 2 semi-good reasons why they should not get married yet, and 30 horrible reasons to not marry, and make sure nobody knows that they love each other. In this one, thankfully, it didn't get to the point of causing a million billion instances of chaos and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And thank goodness it never got to the point where she ended up blaming him for it, even though she's the one that caused it all. Because that is what happens in most of these dramas, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up still loving the Coroner's Diary, is because that didn't happen. I was writing it here because I was afraid it was coming, because that's normally what comes. 90 to 95% of the time in these dramas, that's what comes, and thankfully in this one it didn't get to that point. It's a needless thing. It's like, for some reason you've decided they can't, you the writer, have decided they can't get married until this point, because I don't know why. They've all decided that we like to watch these long, drawn-out things where the characters must try so hard to get together, and everything just keeps getting in their way. Most of the stuff that gets in their way is ridiculous. We did not have to wait that long. I really like it. Some of these dramas, the characters all of a sudden get married at the beginning of the drama, and then it just screws with that so that they're not really married, or there's some kind of reason why they can't actually be together. The marriage wasn't quite finished, or even though they're married, some other horrible thing happened, like in The Wanted Detective. And there's no romance happening in that one either. And it's even there's a romance, but there isn't a romance. And you're like, guys, you don't have to make every story that has a romance have some kind of big, massive problems, and then they do this where, all of the couples, it's the same thing. everybody has to progress at the same time. So even if this couple has legitimate reasons why there's things interrupting and getting in the way, they can't get together, this couple must keep the same pace. Therefore, you have to come up with something with these guys, but all your efforts are expended with these guys, so these guys have the stupidest, most selfish, most ridiculous reasons not to be together. I mean, in this one, they kept deflecting it so badly every single time. That stupid servant girl, and I don't know why I want to call her a stupid servant girl, there's just something about her that irks me so bad, and this is part of it. I mean, every time that the coroner, Wen, is like, and the servant girl's like, so when are you guys getting married? When are you going to admit that you really love him? And she's like, oh, you just, well, what about you? And the other servant guy, and then she, don't. Like, this is, like, by the 5th time you do this in 3 episodes, it's getting really boring and really stupid. And then they did this really weird thing where, okay, spoilers, they had these other characters, her, like, cousins or whatever it was. Was it cousins? Whatever. The point was, they were totally side characters. They had basically no play in the story. They were just kind of there to, like, put a little bit of a pinprick in somebody's side every now and then. They weren't really all that relevant. And yet, we got to watch their marriages. All of a sudden, they get to be married. And all of this whatnot. Huge big deal. Coupled with the main character's wedding. And yet, the main characters, their wedding, we see the briefest of anything. And we don't even really see them kissing or anything. Because, like, for half of their wedding scene, basically, the only wedding scene that we get, they're actually talking about work and whatnot, not about each other and what just happened with them. Like, excuse me. And then these 2 stupid servants that we've been waiting for this entire drama, and we know perfectly well they're supposed to be getting married. Are they at the end of the drama? No. And they can't even get their story straight. They're still at the embarrassed point of, no, we can't really admit that we like each other, where one of them says, yes, we've picked a date, and the other one says no, and it's like, well, yeah, we are, but it's like, like, this is just stupid by now. I don't even care about you people anymore. Just get out. What was the point of you being in this story, aside from just distracting and deflecting and getting in my way? By the end of the story, I'm like, I'm so done with you people. So done with you. Even though I liked him in other ways, I'm so done with you. And the secondary couple, okay, the guy, what was his name? Jan? Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. I really liked him. He was really cute and really cool. And the growth in him was incredible in this one. The princess girl, exact opposite. They came up with, I am like, oh my gosh. There was the note, the stupid dramas that bring up the stupidest things just to drag out relationships, because dramas like this have a rule that all relationships have to be dragged out together, and this must happen before this. I am legit shocked that Wan and Yanshu were able to get married already. Like, the point that they get married in this drama is way sooner than you'd expect, because usually in dramas, if they get married, it's like the last scene you get to see is them getting married, and you get, like, there's no payoff. They finally get married, and what? It's the ending of it. And I know that some of this has to do with the Asians' view of, like, I mean, there used to be, at least, this thing where it's like, you're just not supposed to show affection in front of other people or out in public. You can't apply that, because I'm talking about even in private. Even when they're completely alone and nobody can see them. No, still, some kind of servant has to walk in and interrupt them. Something else, some kind of, like, job thing, their duty, their whatever. Even when they're in private and there's literally nobody around, we still can't have a romantic moment between them. Because, like, it still turns into, I think it was her at the one point, and she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I know, I'm just weird like this because, like, you know, I just can't help thinking about work. And he goes, no, that's just you, it's just cute. And I'm like, guys, there's a line and you're crossing it right now. There comes a point where this is getting insane. You aren't even human anymore. If you're like legit, you love this guy this much. You're this close to him and it's completely private and you want to be with this person so much because you love them so much and you are alone with them and you finally have a moment to be alone with him and all of a sudden, oh, I just can't help it. I'm thinking about work again. And he goes, yes, and you're so cute when you do that. I'm like, there's nothing here. Do you guys love each other or not? Because I'm starting to not believe you. It's just so contradictory and stupid. And it's like, and when you do this over and over and over and over and over again throughout the entire drama, over and over and over and over again, you keep doing this. It's like, guys, no, there's something wrong with you right now. You're doing something wrong. This is not believable and it's dumb. But back to the secondary characters. Literally the stupid excuse to drag out Yan Li and Ning's happy ending. I am so mad at Ning. Yeah, I absolutely hated Ning for a while there because this is absolutely absurd. They came up with the stupidest reason you could think of, and I don't care, you can argue with me all you want. That is the stupidest reason I can think of. We're just out of the blue, they have to bring back this person that she still feels so guilty about because of an accident that happened in her childhood, and it's her fault that he's like this now and he still isn't healed, so therefore I must give up absolutely everything in order to marry him and take care of him because it's my fault. I'm like, this is like so gross on so many levels. It's so stupid and it comes out of nowhere and it's not in the slightest bit necessary. She is the one that was changing Yan Li. She is the one that was like pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling and doing all of this work to tug at his heartstrings and make him grow up and mature and realize that for the first time in his life, he's actually loving someone and that he's willing to stop being so immature and to actually grow up and become a real man for her because he cares so much about her. And she slaps him in the face when this other guy comes along. Nope. I mean, if it was that big of a deal, what were you doing stringing him along all this time? Oh, well, she thought the other guy would have been healed by the time. No, this is the stupidest excuse I have ever heard of. It was so stupid. It was so disgusting. And then it dragged out, it needlessly, pointlessly, stupidly dragged out this relationship. It should not have had to drag out like that. They just had to do that. For what? For why? For what? This is the couple, these couples, the stupid servants, and this couple over here, these are the ones we were waiting for, and we never got any payoff with them. Those two and the main couple. The main couple gets married, and what? Nothing changes. There's literally no change. You cannot tell that they're married now. By the point that they get married, you can't tell. Look at episode 5, and look at, like, episode, what was it, 28, 29, 30, somewhere in there. Look at how they're interacting. You can't tell. You could have changed those around and have this one as episode 6 and 6 as episode, and you can't tell. You cannot tell. So there's no payoff there. And then the two couples that you were waiting for that they had set up way over here, you don't get any payoff with them either because they're not together either. I mean, they're like together. Their relationship has finally been fixed. The two servants are finally, well, yeah, I suppose we're actually getting married. Hee, this is stuff. I'm like, it's not funny. It's like, get out. I don't even care about you two anymore. Just go away. And then you have Yan Li and Ning, and I'm like, Ning, you don't even deserve him by this point, the way you've been treating him lately. And instead, we get this big payoff with these two characters over here, the two cousins, and I'm like, I don't care, but who even are you? You just randomly came in and out of the story so randomly. What is this drama doing? What is it doing? And, like, what was the other thing? Yeah, the problem with it is, like, it's called the Coroner's Diary, so obviously there has to be bodies with them to work with, because she's, like, you know, she's also a doctor, but she's also a coroner, and the part they're trying to show off is the coroner, because, like, you know, whatever, fine, I get that. But at the same time, twice in a row, twice, they made everyone besides her, everyone, including Yanqi, look so incompetent, because twice, literally everyone was out patrolling this small little area, and still they didn't catch the bad guy. And not only did they not catch him, they did not prevent him from killing someone. The bad guy ended up achieving what he was trying to do, despite the fact that there were so many people, and they still failed. Twice in a row, they still failed. Right under their noses. So incompetent, it's not even funny. And, well, no, it's because it's a smart bad guy. Well, no, because she ends up taking him down. Like, there's crickets. Just crickets all over the place. The one part where they, like, legit spotlit her in a way that she did not deserve and was, like, out of left field and the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, this is absolutely absurd. There's no words for how stupid this is when she all of a sudden whipped out this ability to make a sculpture that amazing. Okay, when they call her a coroner, even when they call her a doctor, you have to understand that their definition of a coroner is not the same as what a definition of a coroner nowadays is. When we say coroner, even other people within the drama itself, in fact, other coroners within the drama. They are just coroners. A coroner's job is to take the body and inspect the body and look for clues on the body. And that is it. That is not what she does. She is a coroner. She is a doctor. Those are the two things they said. What they failed to tell you, but what they said throughout with their actions, is that she's also a CSI agent. Because she is like practically the only person that's able to find clues at the scene. She goes to the scene and she finds all the clues and she interprets the clues always correctly. Yes, some of that interpreting and all the rest of this stuff also includes Yan Qi. She doesn't do it entirely by herself, but still, coroners are not CSI agents. She is a CSI agent. And on top of that, she's also a detective and does interrogations and interviews and whatnot as well. So she's like all-around picture of absolutely everything. But at least they kind of established that at the beginning, where they like showed you they call her coroner and a doctor, but in actuality they add all the rest of this up, and they like consistently keep it throughout the entire drama. At least they did that. The only thing that came out of the blue, and it was absolutely ridiculously insanely stupid, and I'm like, if you actually had that ability, girl, what on earth was the point of bringing the artist into it? That level of being able to sculpt something that well, a sculpture. Not even just a painting, but an actual sculpture. And being able to do it from this body over here that is incomplete, etc., etc. She should not have that ability. That is a completely disconnected, completely different ability from every other ability she has throughout the entire drama. I'm telling you, that is totally different. Ask any artist out there, any artist, how many years it would take them to practice and learn in order to make a sculpture like what she made. She would not physically have time. She would not mentally have time to learn as many skills as she does in this drama to the level that she has them learned. To be a coroner as well as she is, and to be a doctor as well as she is, if she's learning them side by side, maybe. We could keep maybe. And all of these other clues and whatnot that she does. The whole CSI work and whatnot. Because she does have help and she's bouncing these ideas and whatnot, maybe. But not the artist. That is like completely different field. It's insane. Are you kidding me? Now you're just character spotlighting. And it comes out of the blue. It's like, you had to drag this case out. You had to drag it out to this point. And now at this point, you're like, well, we can't go any further and we need it to resolve. So all of a sudden, we're going to give her, of all people, we're going to give it to her because she's the main character. So it must be her that does this. You can't give it to one of the others. You couldn't give it to Ning. Yan Qi, it would have been weird too because he wouldn't have had time either. He grew up over there. There's no way he'd be that good of an artist. It would have been just as dumb as he had it. That's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter whether it's a guy or a girl. When you character spotlight, you're giving somebody an ability or a skill or a talent or whatever that there are no grounds for them to have. If they accomplish something, if they have the ability to do something, if they whatever, and there's no grounds for it. This is character spotlighting. She has no grounds for that ability. Like, it would have made more sense to have Ning do it. Ning is a princess who doesn't do a whole lot. Yes, she's studying martial arts too, but like, she is one of those people that like should have been learning that kind of skill. She should have been learning some kind of painting thing. For her to all of a sudden whip out this ability of some kind of painting thing, it would have been a little more realistic than to all of a sudden have when it's absurd. It was ridiculous that she had that ability. And it only comes out once. And that's part of the problem. Just once. At the precise moment that they need just this because they need to have a certain turnaround and we don't know how else to do it. So we're going to give her this ridiculous ability that she only uses once. She's never given any indication before this that she can even draw, never mind sculpt. Never once before it. Never once after it. Just precisely right here at this precise moment. She's going to whip out this amazing sculpture of clay that she makes. Oh my gosh. And I mean, the rest of it is kind of, I don't know, with the notes, but like, So that's a bunch of ranting and raving that took a little longer than I expected them. A whole lot of problems that I had with Coroner's Diary. I had like many problems with it. I'm not trying to claim that I didn't. I had many problems with it. And I had to put it on hold for a while because like the problem with like stories and their pacing and their what they're doing and how they interrupt it and how they drag it out, all of these things were like, anytime I've said this before, we have like a police story or detective story or whatever, they all have the same problem where it's like case by case by case, and it's like it ends up being like episodic arcs, which can be done okay, but at a certain point you need to stop doing that. You need to stop doing that. And this one took too long. There was I think it was actually that they brought in a cult in this one. And it was completely 100% unnecessary. The whole case that I was just talking about where she whips out this ability to make a sculpture. That case was 100% unnecessary. You did not need to make it a cult in this story. It was not necessary. That whole case right there, even though you related it to other stuff at the end of it was not necessary. It was dragging the story out. You didn't need it. It was really irritating. It was really dumb. And you know it was, considering you wrapped it up that way. Just whip out this ability for a one-stop shot. She's suddenly able to do that and then never referenced again. She can't do it before, she can't do it after. Just right here. You yourself just proved this is just stupid. You didn't need this. And then, like, the whole, like, everything. Just the fact that there was, like, a cult thing at all. You didn't need it. It was really dumb. Those are the big problems I had with Coroner's Diary. However, believe it or not, I did love Coroner's Diary. And it relates to Moonlight Mystique. Because the whole time I was watching Coroner's Diary, I mean, I can't remember when it was that I started thinking it, but, like, seriously, all of the problems I had with Moonlight Mystique, Coroner's Diary is the exact opposite. Coroner's Diary is what I'm talking about. These people that are, like, upholding Moonlight Mystique like it's so wonderful and it's so romantic and the characters are so strong and she is so epic. No. Coroner's Diary. Coroner's Diary is what you guys are describing, not Moonlight Mystique. Moonlight Mystique is trash. Absolute trash. Coroner's Diary proves why. Everything that I was saying, all of my points, all of the things that are wrong in Moonlight Mystique, everything they did wrong in Moonlight Mystique, they did right in Coroner's Diary. I wrote a comment a long time ago about Moonlight Mystique, and the problem is, when I was saying it, there's something about Moonlight Mystique that, like, there was potential there. That was extreme potential there. They could have done something really cool. They actually could have. And I think that's why I'm getting really annoyed, and why, of all things, like, I hate Moonlight Mystique so much my screen crawls when I think about it. And yet I want to rewatch it just to, like, to what? This is what I've been asking myself the whole time. Why do I want to rewatch it? Probably because I'm like, okay, there was some kind of potential there. What is it exactly that they did wrong, and where is it that they did it wrong, so that I can prove to you guys that they did it wrong, because I'm telling you, they did it wrong. They trashed something that had a lot of potential. They trashed it. And in a comment I left, and in a reply to somebody and stuff, I was explaining a whole bunch of stuff about it, but now it's been so long since I've watched Moonlight Mystique. It's been a long time since I watched Coroner's Diary already, too. That, like, to really tell you what I want to, like, I should do a comparison thing. This is what I'm talking about. Right now, I don't know if I could do it justice, because it's been so long since I watched Moonlight Mystique. And now it's been long enough that I watched Coroner's Diary. My brain is off on way too many other things. I mentioned When Destiny Brings the Demon. I have so many problems with that one right now. And then, like, I'm also watching Shadow Love, so my brain is distracted on that as well. And, like, Wanted Detective. I have so many things that I would like to say about Wanted Detective, but at the same time, my brain is so messed up over that one because they did so many things right, and then they don't... And I'm not talking about the massive spoiler plot twist at the end. I'm talking about before that. But Moonlight Mystique versus Coroner's Diary... Like I said in this comment thing that I wanted to go through and fully explore and properly explain and all the rest of this kind of stuff. Like, I have no problem. I have nothing against both of the characters, the guy and the girl, being strong and powerful and smart. I have nothing against that. Coroner's Diary. Like, that girl in Coroner's Diary, when the main girl, she used the skills that she had learned, and she honed them, and she found a way to use them, and she climbed those steps. She earned every single one of those steps. Nothing got handed her. The only thing that got handed her, he gave her opportunities. He opened the way. He got some stuff out of the way for her, but he just, like, stepped back and let her do it. He said, okay, here's her, and give her the respect you need to give her. Now listen to her, and she proved why. She proved why. She proved why you should give her respect. Nobody else proved it for her. They just said, shut up and listen to her for a second. That's all they did, and then she proved it. She's the one that did it. In Moonlight Mystique, what did she do? She did nothing. She just kept taking things from people. People kept handing her stuff for no good reason. There was not even a good reason to give it to her. And, like, being strong and powerful and whatnot, I said in the comment, I didn't say in the video, because at the time that I made that video, I wasn't planning to talk about Moonlight Mystique. I was in the middle of talking about something else. But it's like a girl boss takes over. Moonlight Mystique is a girl boss that takes over. Coroner's Diary is not. She's not a girl boss that takes over. I said in the comment that I forgot to mention that, like, because the person says something about these stories are supposed to be about equality and whatnot. That's not what Moonlight Mystique is. It's got nothing to do with being equal. She was not trying to be equal with him. She was trying to surpass him. And not only did she completely shoot past him and surpass him, also at the same time, the only reason she was actually able to do that is because he had some kind of backlash thing. So he was getting weaker and weaker throughout the drama and more incapable of even protecting himself, never mind protecting himself and her. He was getting weaker and weaker and more pathetic. They kept doing the stupid things. Like, even at one point, they made him have amnesia, so he's a helpless little baby, basically. And she's the one protecting him. If she's really as great as you're telling me she is, if she's really as strong and powerful and all the rest of that, as you are telling me that she is, she should have been able to do what she did while he was just as strong and powerful as he was when we first met him. He should not have had to lose anything. And Coroner's Diary proves it. He never lost anything. Yanchu didn't lose anything throughout that entire drama. He never lost anything. He had the same amount of power that he had throughout the entire drama, and she caught up to him. She became just as powerful as him. They had different kinds of ability, and they weren't outdoing each other. They weren't outshining each other. They were taking the role that they had. They were taking the skills and abilities that they had, and they were using that. And she climbed. He was here, and she climbed all the way up to the same level as him. And everybody in the drama had so much respect for her, and so much support was given to her because she earned all of it. She proved that she deserved the respect and everything that they gave to her. What did the girl in Moonlight Mystique do to deserve anything that she was handed? Like, nothing. Even the fox guy that dies for her. All of this power is given to her. Why? That bad guy in Moonlight Mystique was so overpowered, it's not even like I have no words for how overpowered he was. Stupidly overpowered. There is no excuse for him having as much power as he has. It was absolutely absurd. Like, absurd that he had that much power. Absurd! Back in the past and in the present. It's absurd! It's unjustified. They never give any justification for why on earth he's that powerful. So powerful, it's insane. So powerful. And well, what was I saying with that? Yeah, what was it that I was saying? Oh, he finally, he shows off all his power. Like, he even gets new power, basically. Basically, he gets new power to be able to protect his entire kingdom. But by this point of the story, you've realized that no, it doesn't matter what kind of power he has. He's a stupid, useless, pointless character. He shouldn't even be in the story. Like, everybody is dirt underneath her feet in this story. Literally, everybody's dirt. Nobody is necessary. Everything is dumb. She's the only one that matters. He gets that power, and the ridiculously overpowered bad guy just, takes it down. Just, right. He barely even manages to put it up, and it's already taken down. What was the point of it? No, he's useless. No, she's got to do it all. It's got to be her that does everything. To fully explain how, I would have to go back through the drama to point out exactly how it is, where it's she just gets handed all this power. She doesn't actually work for any of it. It's just handed to her. She doesn't deserve it, and she didn't work for it. It's just handed to her throughout the entire drama. And then at the point where they finally do explain why all this stuff is getting handed to her, it's dumb. Okay? You took way too long to explain that. It didn't even cover everything. That only covered a few of the things, not everything, of why it got handed to her. And it just... She got character spotlit so badly. Coroner's Diary is a female-centric story. As far as I'm concerned, you would call that a female-centric story. Moonlight Mystique is different. It's not just female-centric. I don't have a problem with female-centric stories. I personally don't prefer female-centric stories for multiple reasons. I'm just not as interested in the female characters. I'm just not. I'm a girl. I'm extremely attracted to the men. I like watching the men. I can't help it. But Coroner's Diary is a female-centric story. However, in the Coroner's Diary, there's moments where it's Yanchi is also a character. You realize that, right? There are other characters within this drama, and he is also a main character. So he gets to do things. He has his skills and his moments where he's the one that does stuff. And if he wasn't there helping, and if he wasn't there doing things, she would not have succeeded in everything because she needed other people's help. She couldn't do everything on her own. She had amazing skill and talent, and she worked hard to get everything. All the rest of that, they couldn't have done it without her, but she also couldn't have done it without them, because human beings, we need each other. And like, this is the love of her life, etc. All of this kind of stuff. He had his moments where it was his dad. And we have his reaction with his dad. And his story. And his background. And everything that's happening with him. And she is there in the support and love she gives him as he's going through this was so beautiful and was so good. In Moonlight Mystique, how many times were we doing things where it was somebody else's story? Someone else's story. And she stole it every time. Even the main guy that I can't even remember his name right now. It's been too long, I tell you. But even him, when it came to his personal story with his brother in the past, everything that happened with him, his clan, his village, his brother, we don't focus on that. Every single moment where there's any kind of glimmer of anything where we're gonna it's his turn. He's also a main character, by the way. It's a joke to put him as a main character, because the further you go through the story, you realize he's not a main character. He is a side character that becomes increasingly irrelevant and unimportant. It's all about her. Nothing but her. Everything is her. Coroner's Diary is a female-centric story, and it was so well done. Moonlight Mystique is not just a female-centric. The girl boss took over. She takes over everything. Why are we even pretending? It's absurd that it's insulting that we're even pretending that anybody else in the story is necessary. It was character spotlighting. It was massive character spotlighting. She stole the story every single time. She had no business being the one that was being focused on. This was not about her. There were multiple times in the story where it was not about her, and yet somehow it became about her. She stole the spotlight every time. This is what I'm talking about. Her getting handed everything. Every single time, no matter who else it originally was about. She stole it by the end of it. She took the spotlight. It was about her. Either about her... How? How is it her being the victim again? Even people dying is about her. All the way to me, because everybody keeps dying for me. Oh, me, I'm suffering because everyone keeps dying for me. Poor me. Even people's deaths are about her. Me and my suffering because my gosh, how? Oh, she's a control freak. She's an obsessive control freak with absolute no trust, and she's character spotlit over and over and over and over and over again. Or was it? Yeah, some of the other notes that I kind of wrote afterward that I didn't write. I was trying to think of a way to more fully explain this back. I don't remember when I wrote this. I was trying to make notes. And then Moonlight Mystique, character spotlighting, the girl boss takes over. How so? I wanted to explain more. I would have to go back through the story. If I'm not explaining it well enough, I'd have to go back through it. How did she take over? It was character spotlighting. There were so many instances where she had no business being the one. Why are we focused on her right now? This has got nothing to do with her. And yet it became about her somehow. There were so many times, like even when she got the ring from that kingdom. What did she deserve that? How did she deserve that ring? What did she do within that story to be the one that got the ring? How did it end up being hers? There were so many other people. That, it would have made so much more sense for it to... And this is one of the ones where it does explain way later how it's supposed to go to her, because it belongs to her. I'm going to get back to this in a second. Hold on. Double standards. Everything is justified by the relationship in the past. This is so key. Everything is justified by the relationship in the past, but it's only that relationship. Correction, only her that we're supposed to take from the past. We are not supposed to see the bad guy as the bad guy. The bad guy in the past and the person right now. We are not supposed to see them as the same thing. We are not allowed to see them as the same thing. This guy here is a victim because this guy here is taking over him. He is a victim. We must save him because he is a victim, and it's not fair and it's not right and it's horrible. This horrible bad guy from back here is the heart. You cannot see them as the same thing. You're not allowed to. Even the main guy, you're not allowed to see him as the same thing because they made it very clear, like the other guy wasn't even completely dead yet or whatever. So this guy over here is kind of I don't know what you're supposed to call it. Because he's kind of him, but This is why I hate reincarnation, okay? It does not make sense no matter how you explain it. It does not make sense. It is stupid. It is hypocritical. It is ridiculously contradictory. It never makes sense. And yet, so you can't see the bad guys the same one. This also happened in Love You 7 Times, where they're like, you have to see this as the same. You must. It is necessary, and it is like, you have no choice. You have to see this as the same. But in the same equal strength, you cannot see this as the same. You are not allowed to see this as the same. This guy over here is not a bad guy. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter if he literally became a mass murderer. It doesn't matter. He was being forced into it. He was being pushed into it. He tried to resist, but he couldn't do it. It got pushed into it. And I'm supposed to believe that him and that girl over there are so romantic and cute, even though she's the one that forced him into this. But it's okay because she was being forced to. Victimhood trumps everything. If you have a sob story and it's a victimhood, it trumps everything. It doesn't matter what you do. You are a victim, therefore it was justified. But yeah, doesn't matter. It's only her you're allowed to take. The main guy and this guy, you're not allowed to see them as the same thing. You only get to see her. Even though she keeps telling us I'm not the same one, you have to see her as the same thing. And why do you have to see her as the same thing? It takes two to fight. It also takes two to have a relationship. But they weren't two. She's a control freak in the past. Talk to him as if she must decide everything for herself, and then he gets blamed for her actions/decisions. He was told nothing. It was completely taken out of his hands. She did everything on her own. She didn't respect anything about him. She just did it all on her own. And then the servant has the audacity to go, well, it's your fault that this is happening to her. You should have known. And I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? How is he supposed to know any different? She changed everything, and the way she treated him, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. And I understand why she did it, but at the same time, the lengths she took it to, she could have done this part without doing this part, but she decided to do this part anyway because she decided on her own without anybody else's input, control freak, that she's the only one that knows how to handle things correctly, and then he gets blamed for it. He gets blamed for it. They do this all the time in these things. He takes like 500 steps back so that she can sit on the throne, and this is supposedly her getting stronger in the present. Her love is the great love that turns her into an all-powerful immortal. What about his great love? Everyone else in this drama, including him, is dirt under her feet. She is so glorious, nobody else can compare. That is what it boils down to. You are only allowed to take certain aspects from the past, and you have to take those aspects. You're not allowed to take anything else, only them, and you have to take them. You are forced into a corner. Tell me honestly, tell me truly, if you completely disconnected them, and you only took her in the present, only their relationship, only her, and only him, what would you have? Her great love isn't hers. Stupid hair. Her great love isn't hers. It's hers. The only reason she has this big great love is because of her. Her great love. You go back to the past and you find out what happened in the past. If the story didn't have that, if that did not exist, I'm telling you, tell me honestly, if that did not exist, what would this story be without that? Nothing. Would you call this some big, epic, grand, wonderful, romantic story that is so powerful and so... Could you? Would you? If this was all you had? No, you have to rely on this. But only her in the past. Her great loves turns her into this big, glorious immortal because she had the greatest love. What did she do to earn that? What did she do to deserve that? She did nothing. It was her great love. And even her in the past, what did she even really do? He did all the work to wake her up and have her have emotions and all the rest of this stuff. If it wasn't for him, she would have no great love. He is the reason that she had a great love, and yet he's given no credit. He's given nothing. He's just the prize that she ends up winning. And then what? It's all blamed on heaven. Heaven walks on screen and goes, yeah, I messed up, like I messed up bad and I feel really bad, but there's nothing I can do about it. Even though I'm literally Heaven, I messed up so bad. So I was trying so hard to fix it. So I kept handing everything to you because I knew I was wrong, but I'm not really allowed to interfere even though I totally messed up. I'm like, and I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to say. If you can't see how this is messed up and wrong and the stupidest thing you've ever seen in your life, you need help. And the difference between Moonlight Mystique and Coroner's Diary. Coroner's Diary is a female-centric story. Coroner's Diary is a story where the man and woman become equal. Coroner's Diary is an incredibly romantic in terms of how her trust and her love for him grew so much in that drama. It was so beautiful. So beautiful the way they treated each other. So beautiful. The respect and the support and the encouragement and the love that they had for each other was so real and so beautiful. Apart from the fact that they had, like, no physical desire. And that she kept, like, so quickly and easily just, oh yeah, sorry, I'm about to kiss you, but, like, really, even though I love you, like, nah, my brain is over here on the... Maybe if that had only happened once, it'd be one thing. But when they kept doing that, it's like, by this point, I don't believe you. But yeah, that. And then you got Moonlight Mystique. And you're looking at me like I'm the weird one for telling you all that there is something massively, inherently, horribly, twistedly wrong about Moonlight Mystique. And y'all think it's such a wonderful, amazing romance. Anyway, that was very fiery. 50-minute thing. I didn't know how it would come out. I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know anything. I need to rewatch and, like, take through, like, but I have no endurance. I have no ability to, like, stick to this. And every time, like, I keep saying, why do I can't remember what his name is? Fan Yue? Why is that coming to mind? I don't know, is that his name? I have pictures of him that I can't stand her face. Like, I have some pictures from the drama and I had to blur her face out on everything because I can't stand her. And if I watched that drama, guarantee you I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about the secondary couple either, because even the first time through, I couldn't watch them. They are so thoroughly disgusting. I have no words for how horrendous. And yet people think that they are such a romantic and wonderful, absolutely glorious couple too. I'm like, people these days are so twisted. Y'all need so much help. You really need help. Okay. Done with that. We'll see what ends up happening once I edit that. Bye.